Rise, Meg.
The Force will be with you.
Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all having an amazing day. So in today's news update, we're going to be talking about how Mara Jade could become canon in The Mandalorian Season 3. We're also going to be talking about parallels between Grogu and Qui-Gon Jinn, and also a new theory which could explain who saved Grogu from Order 66. Before I dive into the news, please may I ask you to hit like down below, subscribe to my channel if you're brand new, and a huge welcome if you are, and please be sure to hit the notification bell to be alerted each and every time I post new content to the channel. You can expect daily Star Wars updates from me. So this is the road to 50k guys. We are at 48 currently, and I'm hoping to get to 50k by the end of next week. Let's see if it's possible. All of your support is much appreciated. So without any more jibber jabber, let's dive straight into it. So let's talk about Mara Jade. Star Wars might make Luke Skywalker's wife canon. So let's take a look at what this article says. Luke has a wife named Mara Jade, who is among the most popular characters in Legends lore. She and Luke even had a son in Legends who was called Ben Skywalker. Since Grand Admiral Thrawn is set to appear in the Ahsoka Tano series, it seems like Mara Jade could also be set to make her live-action debut, officially bringing her into Star Wars canon. Interestingly, Mara Jade is actually featured in the Legends Thrawn trilogy, the novels in which Thrawn was initially introduced into the Star Wars universe at large. Skywalker, as all Mandalorian fans undoubtedly know, made a surprise cameo appearance in Chapter 16, The Rescue. Ultimately, Din completed his mission to deliver Grogu, aka Baby Yoda, to the Jedi when Luke showed up. Grogu, after a tearful goodbye scene with Djarin, left with Skywalker and iconic droid R2. This is where Mara Jade could potentially enter the Mandalorian saga. So then they write, Grogu is going to need some help getting around. Trained in the ways of the Force or not, he's still going to be an infant. He's not flying ships or likely even talking yet. So he's going to need an adult to escort him wherever he's going. Normally, we'd say that person would be Luke himself, but recreating Luke in CGI as a regular character would be extremely cost prohibitive. So instead of Luke coming back with Grogu, what if it's another early student of Luke's in the form of Mara Jade? In essence, Mara Jade's backstory from the Legends canon could largely remain the same. She could still be the former Emperor's hand who trains under and falls in love with Luke. But given how stringent Luke is with the rules of the Jedi Order at this point, we don't think he'd allow himself to form a romantic attachment. Much like Obi-Wan Kenobi with Duchess Satine Kryze, it is likely that at the Mandalorian's point in the Star Wars timeline, Skywalker would walk away from any romantic attachment. This could potentially free up Mara Jade to be Grogu's escort around the galaxy. Nerdist shared details about how they see Mara Jade's involvement in the overarching Mandalorian storyline playing out. As we saw in the chapter titled The Jedi, another Force user like Ahsoka could connect with Grogu and translate his thoughts for everyone else. After all, that's how Ahsoka learned Grogu's name. Mara Jade could be the C-3PO to Grogu's R2 in a way, and not only could she translate for Grogu, she could also be his personal bodyguard. Even if the baby's Force-trained lightsaber action is probably out of the question, at least for a little while longer. This is an intriguing notion and could, in theory, give Star Wars fans deeper insight into Grogu's past and present as a powerful Force-sensitive being. At this time, Mandalorian showrunner and creator Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, who also worked on the Clone Wars, have not shared any details about whether or not Mara Jade could be brought into official Star Wars canon. It actually isn't far-fetched for Mara Jade to become part of the current canon. Star Wars creator George Lucas had wanted to create a female character as a love interest for Luke in his version of the sequel trilogy. I very much would like to see Mara Jade in live action. What do you guys think? Would it make sense to canonize her for The Mandalorian, or would it take away from the storyline? Alternatively, do you think it could add another layer of depth to Luke's path in this version of the sequel, so to speak? So we're not talking about the Luke that we saw on Ahch-To Island, we're talking about Luke just post Return of the Jedi. Do you think he had a love interest and, she was Mara Jade like we saw in Legends? And if so, do you think what happened to her is what potentially caused him to go to Ahch-To and become a recluse? And of course I mean apart from the Ben Solo becoming Kylo Ren stuff. So now let's move on to our next article. This is from Inverse, and they write, The Mandalorian Season 3 theory reveals Grogu's prequel-era savior. Who rescued Baby Yoda from Order 66? Now, I've talked about this in depth, and I have my own theories to do with who I think saved him. I've argued for Shaq T, Anakin Skywalker, maybe even Palpatine. But let's see what this article is going to say. One Redditor suggests that it was none other than Quinlan Vos who saved Grogu from certain death on Coruscant. To back up the claim, the Redditor argues that due to his extensive experience working undercover, Quinlan Vos would have been uniquely equipped to sneak into the Jedi Temple and get Grogu out of there, as well as keep him alive and hidden afterwards. Grogu was also being guarded by Niktos when he was found by Din Djarin in the Mandalorian pilot, many of whom work for the Hutt clan, which would connect back to Vos's connections to the criminal underworld. A Jedi during the last days of the Republic, Quinlan Vos was known for being more of a brash rule breaker than most Jedi of his time. He was an expert tracker capable of reading other people's memories by touching objects they handled, and was often assigned missions that took him into the galaxy's criminal underworld. Amongst fans, it's always been believed that he was one of the few Jedi to survive the Purge, which means he could easily still be alive during the events of Mando and could have been the one to take Grogu away from the temple. Of all the characters fans have suggested might have saved Grogu, Quinlan Vos is one of the most intriguing. As I did say in a previous video, it is certainly a possibility that any of the surviving Jedi of Order 66 could have saved Grogu, and there's a lot of people in the camp who believe if Mace Windu survived, he was the one to save him. So this is just another theory, and I think, it is somewhat credible. What do you guys think of it? So now let's move on to our final article, and this one is making parallels between The Phantom Menace and the Mandalorian Season 2 finale. And it's titled, Qui-Gon Jinn Easter Egg in the Mandalorian Finale spells doom for Baby Yoda. Should Luke Skywalker have taken Grogu? This is the big question. Some believe that Luke taking Grogu may be a dark reflection of a moment from the prequels. In specific, the theory suggests that Luke separating Grogu and Mando is strangely similar to Qui-Gon taking a young Anakin Skywalker from his mother. If Anakin Skywalker had not been taken away from his mother, then Anakin wouldn't have turned into Darth Vader. Applying the same logic to the Mandalorian Season 2 finale implies that Luke taking Grogu away from Mando could send him down a dark path. The possibility was even hinted at earlier in Season 2 through Ahsoka, when she refused to train Grogu due to his attachment to Mando. If so, then many of the things that were implied in The Last Jedi, that Luke's Jedi Order failed because he made the same mistakes as the Jedi before him, would be proven true. I think reflecting on this theory and reading it makes me think of something George Lucas says, that a lot of Star Wars is just poetry and that it rhymes. So in a sense, part of the magic of Star Wars is that a lot of things foreshadow other events. And in a sense, history repeats itself. So I've often suggested that Grogu could be one of the reasons for Luke Skywalker's downfall. And I'm not saying he's going to turn to the dark side, but I do think there could be foreshadowing, and this theory is something I hadn't even thought about until it came up. So I definitely believe that this article has a point, but what do you guys think of it? Do you think there is some foreshadowing to do with Qui-Gon and Anakin and Luke and Grogu? Do you think he's going to go down a dark path? What do you think is going to happen to our main protagonist in Season 3? So that is all of the news I have for you guys today. I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give me a big fat like, subscribe if you're new, and also please consider heading over to my Patreon page. For just $2 or $10 a month, you get exclusive access to content that is not found here on YouTube. I'm Star Wars Meg, wishing you a phenomenal rest of the day, no matter where you dwell in the galaxy. Have a good one.